Because you guys have been here in Atlanta, actually in College Park, correct? And let's just talk about why you're here and what you're looking forward to doing this election season.
So we are so pleased at the efforts that we're doing to engage with the Black community. Our chairwoman, Ronna McDaniel, made an announcement when she was reelected that she was going to invest about $2 million to reopen community centers across the country in target states so that we could have a physical presence in these communities of color, namely the Black community in College Park, Georgia. And so the first one we opened up was in Cleveland, Ohio. The second one was in College Park, Georgia. And we had so many people come out to turn out to support that opening several months ago. All of the leading candidates for Senate and Congress that were there, governor. And so we were proud to have that. Our goal is to continue our engagement effort that we started in the last presidential election, because we know that a lot of times, especially Democrats will show up just a couple months before the election, go to the Black church, do a quick event, get the vote, and then you don't see them again.
Yeah.
We have a long-term investment strategy, a long-term plan of strategic engagement with the Black community that is not limited to just these community centers across the country, but also with ad buys in Black-owned newspapers and magazines, as well as like this is Black History Month, and so we are running 30-second ads on the Black News Channel. First time we've ever done that. And I believe it's the first time the Black News Channel has had a political party do something of that nature. And so we're proud of our holistic approach that we're taking as a holistic long-term approach to Black engagement. And we're going to see it reap great dividends, because we saw that we had great turnout when it came to even the most recent election in Virginia. As just an example, when Winsome Sears got 17% of the Black vote and Glenn Youngkin got 13% of the Black vote. So we're excited about our engagement efforts.
So I know that you mentioned the ad buy investment that the Republican National Committee is placing with Black publications. Can you kind of share the plan with that? Because is it more strategic, or is it just find a publication that we can give the money to?
No, everything that we do at the RNC is strategic.
Okay.
And it's strategic because we want to make sure that we are communicating with people who, where we have community centers. So, the ad buy was a 5-figure ad buy across the country in target states, and many states where we have community centers or plan to have community centers.
Okay.
This is something that we've been doing since my entire time that I've been here for about 2 years. We've been doing these advertisements with Black newspapers. And so they're in states, North Carolina, Georgia, Wisconsin. We've run ads across the country. And so we're proud of the strategic effort that we're doing. In addition to that, our chairwoman, Ronna McDaniel, wrote an exclusive Black History Month op-ed that ran in the Baltimore Times, the Black newspaper there. I write a regular column in North Carolina in a newspaper called the Carolinian there. And so it's part of our holistic effort to be present in the Black community in these states, in these areas where we have community centers or plan to have community centers, or there's a lot of races where we think there's some strategic value for increasing our presence in the community.
That's amazing. And I appreciate you clarifying that, because I think that if you say you're going to do an ad buy, most people that hear that, it's just, okay, somebody's throwing money at a publication or a news station or what have you. And so I know you mentioned that you guys are running advertisements and things of that nature on Black News Channel. Are you doing that with any other, national news channel, local news channels and things of that nature?
No, we wanted to do, first of all, we don't really do commercials, TV commercials. And so when the Black News Channel came to us and said, "Are you all interested?" I was like, I don't know if we are interested, because we don't do that. We've never done that before. Mm-hmm. But what I do know is that, we have a great,
I hate to interrupt you because I just want to clarify this. That's very true, because most of the time we see things from PAC committees and things of that nature, or people that are specifically for a candidate. So for the Republican National Committee to come out and put some things out there, that is correct. So, but you can go ahead.
No, that's a good point. A lot of times it's the candidates or these PACs that run these ads. And so the way this happened was Janiyah Thomas, who is our Black Media Affairs coordinator, has been really working with the Black News Channel to get not just myself, but so many other surrogates on their shows so that there's balance, so that there are Republican voices, Black Republican voices too, on the show. And so they came to us and they said, would you be interested? And I said, well, let me find out. And the RNC was an immediate yes, let's do it. Now is the time that we should elevate our presence. When I took this job, as the Black Media Affairs Director, now I'm the national spokesperson as well. But the chairwoman said, I want to make sure that we are taking our message to the Black community everywhere that they consume the news. Right. I know that they're not all watching Fox News or CNN or MSNBC. I know that they're reading Black newspapers. I know that they're looking and getting information there. I want us to be present. And so we started to increase our press list. We started to engage even more. We started to do more op-eds across the country. And when it came down to this television ad, we said, you know what? The Black News Channel is the only television space where it is fully dedicated from a news perspective to the Black community. You have other stations that are marketing and the demographic is overwhelmingly for the Black community, but it's not strictly news. And so we felt that that would be the most appropriate place to place the ad, because we want it to be where people are coming to get news, and not just be entertained.
Yes, yes. And so with your community centers, can you kind of elaborate more on that, what your plan is for the communities that you're going to be placed in, and how you're going to use that opportunity to kind of get more Black voters out to vote?
So our community centers started back when President Trump was running for office, and he had these Black Voices for Trump community centers. A lot of people didn't know that they were branded for the Trump campaign, but paid for by the RNC. Right. The chairwoman felt it was something that was important to do. And so we were always paying for them. And so when she was reelected, she said, let's continue this effort, not just with the Black community, to be just fully transparent. We have them for the Latino community, the APA, Asia Pacific American community. And as well, we just opened one in North Carolina for the Native American community there in Robeson County. And so we are expansive in terms of our minority engagement. But when it came to the rationale for this, it was because a lot of times during campaigns, you set up, they call them field offices, where you have staff that are from the local community that you hire on to help when there's a midterm election coming up or a presidential election. You set up shop, normally it's like a storefront, do some branding on it, and the state party does voter engagement work. They'll do phone banking, they'll do things like get out the vote in terms of going door to door, door knocking and things like that, passing out pamphlets and hosting events there and doing training to train new voters and do voter registration drives. Well, until this concept came about, they weren't really in, the specific communities of color, because they were placed where the votes were, or where the candidates were supposed to be located. And so this concept was truly historic. And so what we're wanting to do is have a physical space and have them more of a resource center, where first people can come and know that we're here to listen. Okay. Because before you can do anything, you have to listen. Right, understood. And so we want to have a space where people can come and talk and share about the issues that are important to them. We want to make sure that community organizations can come and utilize our facility to meet, to talk to Republican candidates or Republican officials, because they're each one is staffed by a full-time staffer from the community that comes from the community, a Black American. They're paid, they have benefits, they are there to engage. That's the point one. Point two is the listening piece. Point three is the fact that we want to be able to be a resource. And so we want to train people that want to get mobilized and get activated and learn more about the party. Do phone banking and do training so they can go out and safely do door knocking. And then we host events during Black History Month. I know the College Park office is doing they've been doing these coffees on Fridays. And so you can just come in like sort of like an open house, get to know them. They've been having things like Monopoly. Why Monopoly? It's important because it's showing and talking about Monopoly game night, but that's talking about economics, right? Yes. It's showing people that how do you save money? How do you buy? And that's a good subtle way of talking about the economy, right? It's an opening into a conversation which we want to have about taxes and about property taxes, about loans and housing and pulling your money together and saving your money and buying. because we know how disproportionate the economy has been towards the Black community. And they're having a school choice event. I know that's going to happen in March. And so they've been doing a lot of things out of that office specifically for Black History Month. Yeah. But that programming happens every month. Almost every day, there's something that's going on from that office and all of our offices across the country.